Day 3 of attempting to solo queue to Eternity rank and Marvel Rivals. We start off today in Gold 2 at 67 out of 100 with my Chrono Shield already, so even if we lose any matches, we should still be in the same spot. Today we will go over my 12 matches where I go 6-4. Yeah, I know that doesn't make sense, but it will once this is all over, and we get started in Game 1. Game 1 takes place on Celestial Husk, and I chose to start off on Tank Pool, where we ran a 2-2-2 comp, with our bans being Moon Knight, Penny, and Gambit. We were able to get an easy win over this team by pretty much blowing over them in every single engagement, and we won 2-0. The team flowed very well, and I was able to go 18-3-5 with 8 final hits. I'd also dealt 6,500 damage and blocked about 10,000 with 1,300 healing. I got 32 points for this win, so we're now at 99 out of 100 to reach Gold 1. Game 2 was in Midtown, where I decided to lock Tank Pool again. Our bans were Iron Man, Spider-Man, and Moon Knight, while the other team banned Thing, C&D, and Elsa. We started off in a 2-1-3, but that very quickly swapped to 1-3-2 with me solo tanking. So I swapped over to Emma when struggling on Deadpool, but it didn't really seem to change much. On our defensive turn, one of our supports wanted to go Blade, so I swapped to White Fox and Loki to try and be less diveable while running against their Black Panther, pretty much just throwing shit at the wall to see if anything stuck since our team was already such a mess. But basically ended up with no one stopping him or being able to take out their Groot. That just basically locked our team down. But luckily, I had my Chrono Shield, so I'm still at 99 out of 100 in Gold 2. For Game 3, I decided to lock Thor on Spider Islands. Our bans were Daredevil, Penny, and Spider-Man, and we locked into a 2-2-2. Scarlet Witch and I were absolutely running it down, and we got almost all the way to their spawn, and... the match was canceled because of someone leaving. God damn it, why can't this happen when someone leaves on my team? Game 4 was a close matchup, and it felt very even for most of the game, with us running a 2-2-2 with splashes of 2 and 3 in the mix. I'd initially locked Thor, but switched over to Venom while we were still in spawn. Our bans for this game were Strange, Psylocke, and Penny, and we ended up losing 2-1 on Heart of Heaven. I played really solid on Venom and went 15-6-3 with 7 final hits, 19,000 damage, and 30,000 damage blocked for an impenetrable defense. I did well enough to be SVP for the game, but got knocked down to 87 out of 100 in Gold 2. Game 5 was on Spider Islands, and I had locked Thor to start. Our bans were Emma Frost, Cloak and Dagger, and Daredevil. We locked into a 2-2-2 comp, and our offensive turn went spectacularly, with only our Strange and Moon Knight being the only ones below 20 KOs. I was 22-2-4 going into our turn on defense, and we got the 3-0 win with some strong defensive holds. I ended the game going 29-6-5 with 16 final hits, 13,000 damage, and 25,300 damage blocked, which helped us to secure the victory, granting me 33 ELO to get me to 20 out of 100 in Gold 1. Game 6 was on Celestial Husk Domination, where we banned Spider-Man, despite someone being Namor, Cloak and Dagger, and Iron Man, while the other team banned Hela, Groot, and BP. I locked in Moon Knight after the ban phase, and we ran a 2-2-2, and we were able to take the first point very well, but our team completely fell apart afterwards, even with me dropping 17 final hits, 17,000 damage, 6,000 damage blocked, and going 25-10 to get me a relentless offense. Only one other player on the team had more than 15 KOs, and no one else on the team dropped double-digit finals. I was able to get SVP, so I only lost 16 ELO and was down to 4 out of 100 in Gold 1. Game 7 takes place on Yggdrasil Path, where we got a solid 3-1 victory. For our bans, we banned Bucky, Thor, and Gambit, while the other team banned Daredevil, Star-Lord, and C&D. I had initially locked Venom, but since we were looking at a 2-3-1 comp, I switched over to Luna and made it a 1-3-2. Things went pretty well for our offensive turn, and we easily got it all the way to the 3rd point. And for our turn on defense, we had some really strong holds, along with a lever on the other team, getting us the win. I went 26, 7, and 30 on Luna, with 7,600 damage, 6,800 damage blocked, and 13,400 healing with 5 final hits to put me up to 35 out of 100 in Gold 1. Game 8, we are on Central Park Convergence, and things started off very disjointed. We banned Moon Knight, Namor, and Cloak and Dagger, while they banned Penny, Namor, and Elsa. I had locked in Thor, but saw we only had one healer after the bans, so I tried to play a little bit of Sue Storm. But after our team made some swap arounds, and I did pretty poorly, we ended up in 3 DPS, 3 supports. So I go back to Thor. The other team had a lever, and we had someone else just stop playing mid-game, so it ended up being a 5v5, with us playing solo heal Rocket and them having a solo heal Jeff. But we had 2 tanks while they went 4 DPS, and I went 29, 8, and 3 with 19 final hits, 13,450 damage, and 23,100 damage blocked, with only 337 healing. But to be fair, I kinda got jumped by Iron Man before I could do any healing. This win puts me up to 70 out of 100 in Gold 1, so hopefully next match will be my rank up. Game 9 is on Hellfire Gala Krakoa, and we start off by banning Cloak and Dagger, then Moon Knight, and finally Penny. The other team banned Gambit, Moon Knight, and Daredevil, and we locked into our 2-2-2 with me on Thor. The first point we took easily, while the second we ended up losing, but we locked in on the final point and were barely able to squeak by with a 2-1 victory. I went 33, 10, and 5 with 18 final hits, and also put up 22,200 damage, 35,750 damage blocked, which was able to get me an impenetrable defense, and the MVP, which also got me to rank up to Plat 3, which means it took me a total of 20 matches, not including placements, with 12 wins, giving me a 60% win rate to go from 50 out of 100 in Gold 3, up to ranking up to Plat 3. Game 10 puts me back on Celestial Husk, where we banned C&D, Moon Knight, and Strange, while the other team banned Spidey, Groot, and Daredevil. We started off in a 1-3-2 with me on Thor, and after losing the first point, we swapped to 2-2-2. We barely took the second point after swapping to a 2-1-3 comp, since our healing wasn't able to outcompete their damage, but we still ended up losing the third point in overtime. I was able to go 18, 12, and 6 on Thor, with 7 final hits, 17,300 damage, and 34,100 damage blocked for an impenetrable defense. We were really having trouble stopping their Namor, and our ult usage and timings were a lot worse, which allowed them to capitalize more often due to our bad ult timing. This loss leaves me at negative 18 in Plat 3. For the final match I'm going to do today, the match got cancelled due to someone leaving. God damn it. For the real final match I'm going to do today, on Yggdrasil Path, we banned Moon Knight, Invis, and Spidey, while the other team banned Iron Man, Penny, and Spidey as well. After the bans, we lock in 2-2-2, with me playing Venom on offense to start, and we easily went all the way on our offensive turn, and then on defense, we were able to get a spawn hold, likely helped by the fact that they had someone leave mid-match, which led to them surrendering. I went 18-0-9 with 4 final hits, 5,300 damage, and 11,500 damage blocked to put me back up to 10 out of 100 in Plat 3. From now on, I also want to share some of my stats and win rates throughout this whole challenge. So starting now, I'm 18 of 32 in comp, counting the placements, with my win rate at 56%. I have 4 MVPs and 3 SVPs with 15 impenetrable defenses, 2 Mighty Vanquishers, 3 Relentless Offenses, 2 Trusty Sidekicks, and 1 Gifted Healer. I also want to say thank you all so much for watching. I appreciate all of you, and will be putting out Day 4 as soon as I can, and I will see you all then, and I wish you all luck in your games.